Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Focusing on the lives, experiences, and viewpoints of motherlode women, the show features a rotating cast of 4 women of all ages and from all walks of life. Quick, upbeat, and fast-paced with a variety of topics, this one-hour show will be aired live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Tune in, it's Just Between Us.
Good morning and welcome to Just Between Us, a talk show with some lovely ladies on today. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Kathleen from Mountain Ranch.
I'm Monique from my own.
I'm Martha from my own in Jackson, and a little spice.
The spice is right.
I heard you had a little spice last
Just a
week.
little spice.
Yeah, little Mrs. Dash.
That's why my food comes out
Visited
so
the salsa
good.
this
There you
morning.
go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hot salsa.
She
Yeah.
made salsa this morning. Let's pick 2 topics right away.
Okay.
We don't need topics. We can just talk.
We can just talk is right. That's the problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Pick,
well,
pick a
go
topic.
ahead. Okay.
No, and
Okay.
tell me the topic, and then I'll.
The topic is settling old scores.
Okie dokie.
Number
Number
4.
4. Can you settle an old score and still remain friends, or do you feel the friendship is over, or at least at an arm's distance?
Okay.
That's a good one.
And the next one. And the next one.
Okay, the next one is stepkids.
Number 5.
Okay, number 5 is, can 2 families blend without problems if the adults show respect and boundaries with all parties involved?
Wow, that's a
Absolutely.
loaded gun.
Yeah. And buy your bullets now because they may not be around. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. Kathleen, our first topic.
Okay, our first topic is settling old scores. And number 4 is, can you settle an old score and still remain friends? Or do you feel the friendship is over? Or at least at an arm's distance?
Definitely in an arm's distance.
Yeah.
Once somebody it's kind of like a betrayal, or somehow.
Yeah.
You know, so
Especially if you feel you have to settle a score, there's kind of an animosity, don't you think,
I
already?
completely agree.
And it's like, I'm going to get the last word, whether you like it or not. But I'll smile and be your friend, but I'm going to get the last word. Now,
It's a
that's
huge
at arm's
negative.
that's
Right.
arm's length, or you have to walk away,
Well, if
don't
you
you
feel
think?
like you have to settle it,
I don't
there's
think
a big
so.
problem
I
already.
think if you handle it, if you approach it with compassion and sincerity, if you're really true friends to begin with, I mean, that's the key word here, I
Yeah.
think, is if you're really true friends to
Yeah.
begin with. Because I've been through this.
Yeah.
I've been through this.
But how many
It brings you
people really
closer
have?
together.
Yeah.
It does. I mean,
Yeah, but the thing is you want to settle a score. That means that you're already...
well,
You're
it depends
still
on how
angry,
you
too.
interpret a score. It depends on how you interpret it. Was it something that you feel that was really, really damaging, or was it with malice? Was it accidental? I mean, how was it?
you're in
I
trouble.
just feel like settling the score.
you
Settling
No,
the
but
score means
seriously.
you
I
feel
mean,
like you have to
seriously, you
get
have
back
to-
at them.
I mean,
That's an
how was it
unhealthy
meant?
attitude anyways, don't you think?
Yeah.
Feeling like you have to settle something, that's extremely negative. And I would hate to feel like I needed to settle something. Whatever happens, there's an outcome. But I wouldn't want to walk around with the feeling in my heart that I need to get back at them, settle, get back,
Oh, you don't know more than I.
opposed to resolve. I think
Right.
resolving is different than settling the score.
Resolving is
Yeah.
different than settling. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Settling something.
So if
That's
it's,
true.
the type of thing where, you feel like you need to get your last word in or you need to settle this, I don't think they'd ever be that close to my heart. But I'm a more guarded person. I'd like to say I'm forgiving
Well,
and I am to a point, but
I mean, you have to consider the fact that if the person was truly a friend, there probably wouldn't have been something that you felt you needed to settle to begin with.
Exactly.
So I don't even know that friendship belongs in the sentence.
Yeah.
There you go.
I agree.
Exactly. Oh, well,
You know.
we live and learn every day.
Yeah,
so-
I think that if it's festering and you think you have to settle a score,
well, and
then there's something lacking.
And then if you
I
try to
think.
talk to somebody to try to settle the score, and then they approach you in a very negative way, it's like, because I make, decisions where, like, okay, I'm going to step back, look at the situation, and figure it out, who was wrong here. I mean, what's the right thing that happened here? Am I wrong? Are you right? And give me
Well,
your
I
side of the
think
story.
that's-
Sometimes
that,
it's just, it's minute, it's not that important, and you take
Right.
it the wrong way.
Or people blow it out of control.
Well,
Yeah.
we lose our tempers.
Yeah.
I lose my temper.
And it also depends, if you take it, it depends on how you interpret it,
Right.
whatever it is. It's how you interpret it. Because, the old saying is you take offense. That's an action word.
But don't you think too,
I
though,
mean, that's an
Kathleen,
action word. You have
don't-
to take
yeah,
the offense.
But don't you think too, it also comes with maturity, with age too.
Absolutely.
I think younger
Yeah.
people say, I know I'm going to get her. I got to settle the score.
yeah.
Whereas when you're older, you think, oh well, do what you got to
Well,
do.
yeah,
My
when
time
you're
on
full of-
somebody I really
Yeah,
don't like anyways,
really.
Right.
Take your dog and pony show down the road.
That
I knew now.
So true.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
Well, the younger you are, you're trying to make a stand. You're trying
Yeah.
to,
You posture.
You have all that energy for one thing.
Yeah.
I guess so.
know,
Maybe you feel like you still need to find your place in the world and
Exactly.
identify
You're
yourself
still
as
trying
being
to-
strong.
Yeah, and you don't want to
yourself.
look. You don't want to
Right.
look weak or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're developing, and also at the same time you're developing your own set of standards for yourself.
There
and
you
so
go.
you're trying to, put that out to the world, and that's what's happening when you're young. When you're older, you're sitting back thinking, boy, I should have done that different. I could have done that. Well, I could have.
Yeah.
You have a different way of looking at things.
Right.
So.
I think anytime you feel like you have to settle a score, that's real negative. And
I did.
Unless it's something drastic.
I
and
did
then
that a
it's-
lot with my brothers and sisters.
well, like you said, when you're younger, maybe.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
no,
yes.
it's time to move on. It's going to get violent now, I can tell you.
Okie dokie. The second one is stepkids. And number 5 is, can two families blend without problems if the adults show, and I think that's the key part of it, if the adults show respect and boundaries with all parties involved.
Even the Brady Bunch didn't get along.
Marcia.
I know. But it's very hard getting along with two different families. When they've been raised in different ways, and then they blend together, and then one has a certain way that they do things.
Sure.
And others are used to doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
Of course, and you're talking about, too, if the stepchildren come like every other weekend or every weekend, or they live
depends
with
on the
you,
dynamic.
that's when you have
Or when they
blended.
so disrespectful, when they very disrespectful, and
Right.
they tell
Well,
you, you're
that's
not
tough.
my mother, you can't tell me what to do.
Right.
Well, then go home and live with your mother.
Well, you can't do that.
Right, and then
You
every
can't-
psychologist tells
you
the
just
kids,
have
oh,
to-
well, you don't have to listen to her. She's just there to be your mentor.
No. Once,
That doesn't work in real life.
When a woman has children and a man has children and they blend their families, they need to sit them down from day one and say, look, this is not going to be easy. We know that. Now, we may all have fun and get along right now, but there's going to be hurdles. What you have to remember is that you are to respect your mother and you are to respect
Not-
your father
I
and
know.
the exes. And we're going to work on this because, like you said, the adult has to come out. Behind closed doors, I will tell you this. I'm blessed because I look at John's children as my bonus kids. That's the way I look at it. But they're all adults, and we're not always together. I mean, we don't see each other that often. However, being younger and having them, you have to make sacrifices. So do the children. It is a hard road to hoe, but it is something that everybody in that family has got to
Participate in and make an effort.
Absolutely.
I agree. And I think if the parents set the standard of boundaries and respect, which is what it says
Right.
there, if they set that standard and they don't show any favoritism, because I think that's where you get in trouble. When you
That's
start
true.
showing favoritism, then is when you're going to have issues, because all the kids are looking for is equality. That's all. They just want to know they're
And-
going to be
and
loved
and
as
sometimes
much as they were loved before.
Yeah.
And they want to know that they're going to be loved
And
the
don't
same,
you feel that
period.
sometimes that they feel that well, you're favoring yours more than me, or I feel left out, or I like you, but I don't love you like I love my mom, and that's okay. I'm not there to be your mother. I'm there for you if you need me. And I'm here, and while you're here, I will cook, we'll have fun, we'll do whatever. Sometimes the stepchildren become closer to the new parent. That's what I call it, the new parent coming into the picture, and they have a good rapport. Amen. Everybody's happy. But if there's problems that arise, then I think you've got to hit them head on. But the most important thing when you communicate with these kids is you listen. Because they have something to say.
And they need to understand that you love them and that you're there to make. And I think it just comes with sincerity in the situation. If you sincerely care and love your whole entire family, and you don't show favoritism, they're looking for. All they want to know is they're going to be loved.
Yeah.
That is all they really want to know.
My situation was that I adopted children.
You
So did
adopted
I.
6.
So,
I did too. I had that too.
you learn to sit down and talk to them for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
I gave so much time to these kids.
But did you have any of their parents in their life?
No.
So they had
I had a parent.
I had one
Well, I
mother.
actually had both parents for a while.
I had one mother that as soon as they got better, she
Yeah.
would come over and take them. And then she would come over and drop them off like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even let me know.
Yeah.
One time, one of the kids was in my front door, sleeping. Thank God it was summer,
Oh,
but
my
he
God.
said that he knocked on the door and we didn't hear him knock, but I mean, it was, finally they decided
That's
on
just
their
so traumatic.
own not to go back to their mother.
Well, that's what happened in my situation too. I didn't adopt her, but she came into my home and the court gave me custody of her, and she's remained my goddaughter all these years. And she now is, 29 years old. She's got a little boy. She's married happily. She's doing beautifully. But there were some real touch and go situations. I mean, we really had some things we had to deal with, and and she was a twin, and there was just a whole lot of dynamics, But it worked. It ended up working out really, really well.
You know what comes into play too?
Being teenagers is probably the roughest.
Oh, that's the roughest.
Junior high.
She came
But
in
you
my life
not
when
only
she's
have,
14.
the new mom, new dad, the mixed couple themselves, but then you have the grandparents, and that plays in quite a bit sometimes.
Oh, you bet.
Because you have some grandparents that kind of stay out of the business, come to the birthday parties, and are there when you need them. And then sometimes you have grandparents that have been very involved in the kids' lives, especially if it was a single parent that's been raising the children for a long time. And so they are extremely involved, almost a point where the relationship and the mother figure is the grandmother versus the mom.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it gets sticky.
Yeah.
It does get
Yeah.
sticky.
Yeah.
The parents, I think, should be raising the kids, but that's not always the only item.
Tell
That's not
me
always the
about
only,
it.
and it can be good or bad.
I usually, because I have so many grandkids, and I just, stay behind the door, just watch what's going on. Wherever I can help, I help, and whatever I'm not needed, I just stay away. But it's because I have learned through so much experience,
Sure.
Right.
to keep my mouth shut when I'm supposed to keep my mouth
I
shut.
kept my mouth shut from day one with my very first,
Yeah.
and it was the hardest thing I
do.
ever had to do. Well, I stay out.
Yeah.
It's not my business.
But
They are raising those
there's
children.
times that you
But
have
there's
to
time-
talk.
yeah.
There's times that you have to talk.
Yep.
And like sometimes I
Yep.
talk to my daughter-in-laws, and sometimes I talk
Yeah.
to my children, my daughters or my sons, and
You bet.
it's like whatever the situation is. Okay,
Ready?
okay,
Let's roll.
We
Okay,
gotta
you're
move
gonna-
on.
You're
Two
gonna
more.
pick up,
Come on, two
pick up a little
topics,
more.
please.
Okay,
Stop
so
it.
we got a free-for-all,
Okay.
and we have
A topic.
a topic of friendship.
Numbers.
Number 6. Does age have an influence or effect on a friendship, or should it even matter?
Ooh.
I think it does. Should it matter? I don't know, but I think it definitely age does.
Yeah,
Change things,
okay,
sure.
that's interesting.
You done?
Yeah. We got to go to a
Bless her heart.
commercial.
All
huh?
right, we got a free-for-all, and we'll let you girls
Yeah.
take the first free-for-all.
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, we're going to take a very short break, and we'll be right back.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. Kathleen, we're going to discuss what this time?
We are going to discuss, we have a free-for-all first.
Right.
And then we have friendship. And under number 6 on friendship is, does age have an influence or an effect on a friendship, or should it even matter?
Well, you know, because I have so many children, and they have friends. You know, I had younger kids try to become really good friends with me, but you have to have a line where you can be a boundary where you can be a friend, and or you know, you cannot be a best friend to a teenager or a kid. You know, you have, in my opinion, of course, you know, because I have had so many kids that try to get too close to me, and it's like, no, this is the line. I love you as my kid's friend, and I need you to stay on that side of the line, you know.
Do you think that's because, do you have things that are in common that you can talk about? I mean, like with Austin, now he's young, but he's so mature that, and Alan, same way, they're young, but you can sit down and talk to them.
You can be friends up to a certain point. There's certain things you can talk to them, and there's certain things you can't.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You might joke about it, and you might this or that, but there's a line that all of us have to, you know.
What about being friends with an older person?
My best friend was, you know, almost my mother's age. She was my best friend until she passed away. I mean, we were just like this all the time. We met in art class. We were best friends for 17 years.
Yeah, most of my female friends are 60, 70, in that range, and they're wise and wonderful and funny and happy. And
thank you.
Yes, of course. and just a joy to be with. There's not that young people drama. You know, they're married, so we go out as couples, and I love that, you know, and I enjoy them, and I enjoy the things that we do together. But I completely agree with you, because my daughter's 17, and I love her friends. She has just the most awesome friends.
But you know when it's time I
go, hey, it's still Mrs. Grazade to you, you know, and
and
then they go, oh yeah, that's right, your mom, and so that's what I'll say is, you know, that just, if
you
they go over the line,
respect.
I go, hey, still Mrs. Grazade to you.
You have to show respect to get respect. You know, because there are some kids that try to cross that line, you know, and it's like, no.
Well, I never had that issue with my daughter's
children.
friends.
Their kids want to, when their friends want to get close to you, and then you have a child the same age as that, that conflicts too. Don't you think?
Well, because they used to see that my kids were like, I was their best friend. I was their mother first, but, you know, I was their best friend in a way because they felt free to come and talk to me about whatever situation. And sometimes they would talk to me in front of a friend. But then, you know, sometimes with your own kids, you can cross that line when you can talk about things.
And sometimes
somebody else's
sometimes
kids.
your children, your kid, they don't want you to be friends with their friends.
Right.
Those are my friends, and
you're my mom.
There you go. And sometimes even being a young mom like yourself, there's times where but they look at you like an older generation. And
I think that's kind of natural for kids anyway. You know, you have a certain, even with my girlfriend, it was my best friend for years and years, there was a certain, you know, I looked to her because she was older than I was, and I had a tendency to look to her and see how she did things, because she did things and was dealing with things that I was yet to deal with, and so there is that part of it. But I think, you know, it comes down to respect.
Here's a totally different spin on it too. Is there's a young man, his name is Ian. He is the neatest kid, and he's a boyfriend of Morgan's, you know, girlfriend, dear friend. And he'll come over, 2 hours go by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been sitting here talking to you for 2 hours. I got stuff to do. But he's just so mature and really business minded and college bound. And we talk about schools, we talk about work, and, you know, the time just goes by. And I just love that kid. He's a great kid, so personable, never disrespectful, you know, but just the neatest individual.
Well,
and I enjoy his company.
I'm finding too that the younger kids, they enjoy, when we were growing up, it was, you know, go outside or go in another room and don't be spoken.
Well, you don't
remember,
speak until you're spoken
if
somebody came to your house, I mean,
that's exactly
they were
it.
nervous.
But now what's fun is that younger people, they enjoy being around older people.
They do. I really think
really
they do.
honestly do. I mean, it's a different, and I think that's because we're more modern in our thinking, and
I think it's because we're more open.
and we respect what
communicate.
we listen to them. Where
Yes.
yours, I don't want to hear it. Go,
Shut up.
Go outside, go play, or go call your friend, whatever.
Right.
Whereas now you sit down and you think, okay, you know, you have a totally different spin on that, but you at least give these kids the opportunity to voice their opinion, and they appreciate that because they may not get that at home.
I was never allowed to talk to my mother
No.
about anything that
Yeah.
had to do with even having a baby.
Yeah. Well,
Do
see,
you know,
that's how, yeah.
do you know when I found out how a woman had a baby at 15 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, you just,
Yeah.
those
I couldn't
things
talk to
were
my mom
so
very much about that
guarded
when I was
about,
young.
No.
they
Yeah.
were so
Well, I
guarded
agree.
about
We're gonna
everything.
have you and Monique start us off on our free for all. You want to talk about what today?
You know, I've been watching the news, and they've been talking a lot about passing this new law with the immigration bill. You know, I went like, what? How many people there is here in the United States that is
Quite a
legally?
few.
And we're not talking just about, you know, Mexican people.
Oh, no.
You know, they talking about all kinds of people from all over the world.
Right.
And 11 million people are in this country illegally. You know, and I don't say anything bad about them because all of us come one way or the other into this
somewhere.
country.
You know their situations. they
Yeah,
start
absolutely.
But the thing is that if they pass this bill, you know, they better fix the welfare first. They better fix the, you know, all of the health problems that we have. That
Right,
you know,
right.
all of the things that if they're gonna pass this bill and give jobs to other people before we fix our own problems in the United States for the people that are here already, they're, you know, American citizens.
I think-
Compounding me
Right.
too.
I think what
right.
you're, I think
Totally
what you're
agree.
saying too is that I think that there's it's gonna come around to where that we're gonna make everybody, American citizens or whatever,
Right,
go through the
right.
process or whatever. But then after that, then I think that they really need to crack down and watch what is going on with.
Well,
with,
you know, I think if at the airport they can, you know, they can take, you know, even children, they use their thing to,
Oh,
Right.
you know,
security
the
one.
security.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why can't they protect the borders? You know, why do they let all these drugs come in through the borders?
because there's big money
You
in
know.
it, and sometimes it's
Yeah,
easier
but I
to
mean-
look the other way.
But still, what I'm talking about is, you know, it's good to get a program where people that work in the fields, that work at the restaurants, that work at landscaping, they get a permit for the job.
Right.
But once, you know, they get their papers, they want to get educated, and they don't want to do their job anymore. You know,
And,
It's
and
like,
rightfully so. Why
you know,
should they?
yes, but I'm saying that we used to have a program called Los Braceros,
Right.
okay, many years in the 60s, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave a permit for people to be here in the United States for a certain period of time.
Right.
And then they would pay their taxes. They would be, you know, they would be legally walking out on the street without being afraid.
Right.
I understand both sides
Sure.
of this
Well,
this
there was
program,
a situation,
you
let
know.
me tell you about this. There was a situation where this young man was brought into the United States when he was 3 years old, illegally by his parents, okay? He was educated here. He put himself through college and became an attorney. He cannot practice law in the
Right.
United States of America because he's not a legal citizen.
Well, they just
That is
passed-
disgusting.
They just passed another program where anybody that was brought into the United States before the age of 17.
It's 60, is
I-
it 16?
I think it's 16 or 17. But anyway, they pay $500, you know, to get an application, and then, you know, they have to prove that they have been good citizens, that they have
Right.
not been, you know, into problems with the law,
Right.
and that they are not, you
Another
know.
thing too that I don't like about a lot of the the immigration thing is that these people are hungry to come here, to work here, and they get cheated out of Social Security, benefits, and things that are rightfully theirs. They get cheated out of it because they're afraid to come forward and say anything, and they're upstanding citizens.
they
And
have
they're
a
afraid,
program.
period. They're afraid to drive.
They
You
have-
know, does their insurance really work? I don't know.
I don't understand this because all of these people are here, and we cannot, get them to get a driver's license so that they can drive. They're going to drive anyway.
Right.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
I think, I know that everything has to be done down to, the law, but
Yeah.
but still, we have to be more realistic. They are here whether we like it or not.
Absolutely.
And so if we can do something about it to kind of at least fix some of the problem, because when I'm driving in my car, I pay my license, I pay my insurance,
right.
I do all of
Right.
this, and there's all these other
and you're
people.
right, and it's not a gray. It's not black and white or
It's
gray.
not black
Maybe it's
and
a
white.
different type of
We
You
have-
know,
license.
but you don't. Okay,
Temporary,
do you invite people into your home when you have issues? When there's issues going on? When you
Usually
have
not.
turmoil? No,
Exactly.
you don't.
Right.
I mean, you don't. And we're doing this.
Yeah.
We don't even have our own issues solved.
Absolutely.
And here we are.
Yeah, I
Taking
mean,
on
somebody's
more.
ready to push
We have
this
to.
button.
We have
with-
to go on
with
and do the
Korea,
last two.
Okay.
The bad thing is that I hear what you're saying with the drug thing. That's never going to be solved. I don't think. I think it's just too late for that.
Well, the drug thing I think is going to continue.
Yeah.
I really
Forever.
do
Big
because
money.
there's too much money in it.
Okay,
And
we have another free for all. Kathleen, you want to
so
take
we
that?
have we have a free for all.
Okay, and then the next one.
And the next one is self-image, and
Okay.
we roll the dice.
6 again.
6 again. Wow. Okay, we hardly ever get 6 like that.
I know.
Okay. So, do you feel that a low self-esteem over a period of time can cause emotional problems if not addressed?
What?
Well,
Low self-esteem over a period of
do
time.
they
We're gonna
cause
take a short
emotional
break. We'll
problems,
be
or
right
do
back.
the emotional problems
Just
cause?
Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage. And now back to Just Between Us.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. I'm Susie from Volcano.
I'm Kathleen from Mountain Ranch.
Monique from Ione.
And I'm Martha from Ione and Jackson.
Monique, good luck on your new little cooking segment. I want to say that.
Oh,
you
thank
did. You did
you.
very good today.
Thank you. And I have a new show coming up
I
on
know.
Monday. Mondays with Monique at noon.
It's going to be fun.
Sweet.
Food, history, interests, exercise, health,
That a girl.
wine and cheese, whatever.
That a girl.
Yeah, it'll be
Give-
great.
You
Cool.
give them heck.
Cool,
yes.
cool, cool.
Kathleen, our first topic.
Okay, our first topic is self-image, and number 6 is: do you feel that a low self-esteem or low self-image over a period of time can cause emotional problems if not addressed? And I think it's the opposite. I think emotional issues underlie low self-esteem.
Yeah. And I think age has a lot to do with it. I think
Growing out of it from your teenage years into adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. But, you take the teenage category and they have a special category all in themselves. When you're younger and when you're more mature and as you get older, I think that you could probably handle a couple, oh, what are you wearing that for? Or, oh, what happened to your hair? You don't worry about it.
Well, you're not
at
as
teenage
worried
You
about
have to be very careful
Teenage
when
years,
say
you don't
that
want to
to a
do that.
teenager.
Oh my gosh, it's a blow up, And
With
they're
Susie, I
fragile.
can call her and tell her, Susie, your hair's sticking
Well,
out.
they're
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
focused
thank God
on
somebody
image,
looks after me.
Totally.
I mean, just as an example, when you got a pimple when you're 14,
Oh, my
as
God.
compared to when you're 30.
It's like a headlight on your face. and you think-
Exactly. I mean,
Yes.
your whole
Yeah.
day was focused on that.
Oh my gosh,
thing.
I totally agree.
I mean, it's just
I'm not
you
going
just
to
look at
school
things
because I have
completely
this,
different.
this pimple on
What am I going to do with
Yeah,
this?
right.
Yeah, really.
My
Well, okay, we'll fix
15-year-old
it.
How many girls have you
granddaughter,
said, "Oh, I had this beautiful dress for prom and everything, and I had this pimple," and it's like nobody noticed the pimple,
Yeah.
but they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that a lot of times people don't understand that even joking and teasing can cause low, make a person feel bad about themselves
agree.
and give them a low self-esteem. So
It's different with boys, though.
yeah, boys are different.
Boys don't care.
Oh, boys don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, boys- boys
they'll
are-
just do whatever.
Boys are different.
And also, I noticed with boys, you know, their sense of humor is totally different
much more
than
easygoing.
girls, you know. Girls at 13 through 16, you know, they want to look perfect.
Yeah.
You know, they just, nothing has to be out of place. And my grandson just picks up a shirt, a pair
That's
of
it.
pants, different colors, socks. I like, you know, I'm ready to go, Grandma. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
But they are sensitive, though, and you know, I noticed I raised several boys, my two included, and you know, I have a grandson now, and they're very sensitive, and they're trying to figure out, you know, how much bravado should they put on, how much sensitivity should they show, and I think a lot of times they just cover it all up, you know, for that self-image. And I really do, because I remember times when my sons would actually sit down. My one son, I just loved, he used to come in and help me fold socks at night when he wanted to talk about something. And I always knew when he came in, because I always did the laundry at night, and I'd be sitting there on the bed and folding whatever, and he'd come in and he'd start folding socks with me.
And you knew.
Something's up.
Okay,
Yeah.
something's coming up,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, if I approached him, oh, forget it.
Yeah.
Not gonna
I
work.
think
No,
one thing
absolutely
I
not.
don't like about in this time is that I don't think that a lot of times we let kids be kids. I think that little boys have to, I mean, they can't be little boys. Look how these kids are getting kicked out of school because they're playing cops and robbers or this and that or whatever.
Well, we're
it's so
oversensitive in the schools,
un-PC or
too.
whatever. Leave kids alone. They will figure things out. Let them play. Let them have a good time. We don't have to sit there and monitoring every little thing that they do. And if little girls want to get in and play cowboys and Indian, let them do
Don't
it.
overanalyze it.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, games and kids getting into it and scuffles and stuff have been going on since the beginning of time. As a parent, you know, if you see a child become very introvert or isolation or things like that, you know this is not their normal behavior.
Right. You know
this
something's
is where
going on.
a family member needs to step in.
Yeah.
Thus,
Yeah.
we've seen with Columbine and a lot of other things. So I think that we've gotten away. Kids need to be kids, and let's just let them be kids and let them do their own thing.
Well, I agree, but I think, you know, also it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You know, there's so much intensity about this and that and all this stuff going on, and I think, you know, that trickles down to our children, and we're like putting pressure on them too. Just society in general, because of all the
When
things
you grew
that are
up
going on.
and you were playing dodgeball or baseball,
Yeah.
whatever,
right.
there's no losers. Everybody wins. No, you sucked. You lost
Yeah,
by
you
10
did.
points.
Right.
You lost by 10 points. You
Right.
sucked. You were terrible today.
Right.
I mean,
And
why
today-
do
Pick
you
something
do
you're
that?
good at if you
Yeah, I
want
like
to try
get-
out for it.
I like to get in the old rap
Well,
with
you
the
think
heart.
about the subject too that we were talking about is, you know, does low self-esteem cause, you know, a emotional problem? Well, think about like when you're older, like my mom just passed away, and I gotta
Knocked
say,
you for a loop.
I was not myself for a while,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't
But
exercise, and I didn't
But you
feel
know what?
good,
That's
and-
understanding because you had such a beautiful relationship with your mom. We're going on to our next free for all, Tootsie.
Okay.
Okay, we want to talk about, obviously, you're here, Middle East.
Yeah.
What's going on?
And that, you know, it just continues to look like nobody has the intention of a democracy over there. I mean, that seemed to be what was portrayed, what was put out front as the image of what, you know, and now that everybody's getting kind of comfortable over there and you know, the power structure is becoming more united, that's not what's happening.
Especially
And-
in we're talking about Egypt.
we're talking about Egypt specifically, and you know, tourism is fallen way back. The people, the masses in Egypt are dealing with extreme poverty. I mean, the poverty now is worse than it has been in I don't even know how long. It's really, really, really bad, and it's not going to improve. And it's almost as if the government is taking advantage of that fact and to use it to oppress the people. You
Yes.
follow me?
Keep control over it.
Because they know they have nothing at this point, and they think that they're just going to grasp at straws and accept whatever
Right.
comes down the pike. But I don't think that's not what I'm hearing from the specific.
So,
I have
Kathleen,
friends in Egypt, and
which-
that's not what I'm hearing from the people. The people
Yeah.
are saying, we don't care. We're not. We
So do
don't
you
want
feel,
this. We
Kathleen-
don't want the oppression of women. We don't want what
Right.
they're trying to. We don't want this Islamic rule.
Right.
Many of
So
the people.
let me ask you a question
Don't want
here.
it.
Do you think that the I think it's 40 million that we're giving them for the entrepreneurs over there to help them get on their feet? You don't think that money's going to go?
Entrepreneurs.
Uh-huh.
You can call it whatever you want to call it, but anytime you give a country that has that type of
Dictatorship.
governmental, well, they can call it whatever they want to call it, but they're calling it what they're calling it. That money is not going to go for the intended purpose.
So these
And
then
I mean,
of course
look at history.
Yeah.
When has it ever gotten to those people that it was supposed to be set up for?
So we're seeing this. We're seeing this pattern, like North Korea and other places. We're seeing this pattern where the United States gives them an abundance amount of money that we can be keeping here and taking care of our own.
That we
And
don't
we're
have to
seeing,
begin with.
and we're seeing, we're seeing this money go over
I see
there.
something
Okay.
wrong with this picture.
My
and
question
the money
is
is not going to
my
help
question
the
always
people.
has to be, why are we really giving that money to them? You know, that I think is
And
the
you know,
question.
that's
Not because
not
we can
being-
afford it, because we can't.
And
we
you know,
can't afford
and the
it.
thing is that I
So
look at
why
it this
are
way.
we doing it?
I look at it this way.
You know?
You know, we are a great country. We really, really are. But like in anything, like at home, I take care of my family first. You know, and then
Well, we were just
wherever I
talking
can,
about
I
this,
help
you know?
whoever I can. Not in a big way,
Right.
yeah, in a way that I can afford and still have my home, be
But you
able to keep
aren't
my
giving
home.
things away
You know,
until
I
you
look
have.
at it this
Right.
is my own analogy in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why is this country doing all of this and giving away to all of these people when we have children in this country going to bed hungry?
Right. Exactly. Just like what we were talking about with the immigration issue.
Right.
Why are we bringing in more confusion and compounding the issues we already have?
We have to deal with what
and
we
then,
have
and then
here
on the
and then
other
close
hand, we're
everything
turning
up.
around and giving away money that we need to set up these programs.
But they are programs
the
that they can
issues
be
we have.
set up in any country.
Right.
You know, but I don't know why they make it so confusing. To me, it's so simple.
Well, what
you know.
it does is it keeps the crises going.
Yes.
So this is what I do. I ask, okay, what's really going on here? What is the motive that we're really giving this money for?
Well, it's
And
not just the
since
money.
we're shooting ourselves in the foot by doing it,
Yeah.
what is really the reason?
But
What's
it's not just
happening
money.
here?
We're giving them 200 tanks. We're giving them 4 or 5
Well,
fighter jets.
what are we expect from them for that money? Are we
Right.
expecting anything?
Well, we're not.
So
we're
far,
not,
all we've gotten is disrespect.
We're not right because we're not asking for respect. We're not asking to be respected by doing
you
it.
know,
The very act of giving it when we can't afford it, for one thing, is a disrespect to ourselves. So if we're expressing disrespect for ourselves by doing that very act, how
They're
are we
not going to-
expecting to
they're
be
not going to-
respected?
They're going to say, look at these
I
stupid
think-
Americans. They're in such a bad financial hole.
thank you.
And here they are giving us more money.
Look,
what the heck's going
it's
on?
nice to help
Right.
people.
So do
but
you think
40
they
million
respect
would
us?
help people
No,
here.
absolutely not.
40 million would help a lot of people in
I
this
could
country.
see sending manpower if it was to rebuild a city. I can
Okay.
kind of see that
Right.
as
My
a
question
humanities
is,
thing.
what
But
is the-
cash, no.
What is
Well,
the real motive?
Well, that's just a
And they're
drop
right.
in the
What
bucket.
is the
We've
real
got 200,
motive?
300 million that's
What is
going
the
over. We're
real
going to take a
motive?
short break, come back and hit you up with our hot
Okay.
topic.
Just Between Us, a spontaneous, intuitive live television show with topics that are intended to inspire, delight, educate, and encourage.
Welcome back to Just Between Us. Are you ladies ready for our hot topic?
Sure.
What do you think of the idea of once disgraced politicians like Mark Sanford and Anthony Weiner once again running for office? Anthony Weiner has just made the announcement that he wants to run for mayor of New York. So he wants to be top weenie out there. And I mean,
He wants
I think
to
it's
be
a
Come
sign.
on.
I think
Come
it's a sign
on.
of the times.
come
I
on.
really do.
I mean,
think
don't you have a sense of
it's a sign of the times because we have gotten to such a point with our political leaders that there's so much corruption. If you can buy a position, I think if you have enough people behind you that are paying you to get into
Kathleen,
office, you're going to get
if
in.
somebody local took a picture of their privates and put it out there, they would never be able to walk down Jackson or Sutter Creek Street for
Absolutely.
years and years and years.
Absolutely.
Well, you know why?
Yeah.
Because the people in Jackson run them out.
I mean, where is
literally.
these people's?
This happened in a little area that I lived in there. They caught one that's one, I'm not going to get into details, but one of the neighbors, right? Mm-hmm. That person was not allowed in Amador County.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
There was a thing filed, I forget what you call it, but there was a thing filed that person could not come back to Amador County and still has not returned.
Well, and we have a small county. You can't necessarily do that in New York City. I mean,
No.
Well,
it-
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean,
but I think the issue is, do you want that gentleman in office
But you
again?
can do it with your attitude, and you can. People can collectively say, you know what, this is not okay with me. It's not okay with
Those
us.
are
My
the,
question
those are the
is-
cases that they call me.
My question is that if he
I
makes
take
it,
care of those things.
if he makes it, what is his letterhead going to look like? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
Please,
You know, that's
Mayor of
so-
New York. What is that?
Well,
Oh,
do
it's
people
Stephanie.
want to go with this mayor? Anyways, let's say that he becomes the mayor of New York. Okay, well, there's always going to be a respect issue. There's always going to be
Absolutely.
an issue about morals.
Absolutely.
There's
Is he
no
a good
way.
businessman?
How can
he
they
run
let
the city?
him run?
I
How
don't
can
know.
they let him run?
And
I
then
guess
his,
you're
and then his
free to
wife is
run.
going to stand
Because
beside
somebody-
him.
Put money behind him.
right.
Does that sound
That's
like
exactly
a
what it
Kennedy?
sounds- it
And
sounds
do you think,
Kennedy
do you
dysfunctional.
think that
Yeah.
there's anybody
Very
in the
dysfunctional.
U.S. that doesn't know that now?
Oh my God! You know, it's
Everybody
like,
knows it.
Well, people should have
It's
some
become,
common sense.
It's become
you know,
so blatant that
there's
I wouldn't.
no common sense in politics anymore.
Instead of a limo, they'll send out that Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
There you go. Great one. Yeah.
God.
But it's becoming so blatant. I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if they didn't re-elect Bush
Whoa!
No.
or try to.
No, I don't think so. I don't. Nah.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where that's almost the next thing you expect.
Nah, I don't
know
think.
what I
They'd have to change. They'd have a lot of constitutional work to bring somebody from the
From the
past.
past.
And bring, no, I don't think it.
But you know what?
Please.
They've changed so many things
True.
to
But-
accommodate these
But
things.
the thing is that I just don't understand. I mean, we make jokes and stuff, but can you imagine? Well, look at Marion Barry. How many times did he get caught smoking? Was he smoking crack? Yeah, he was smoking crack, and they reelected him again.
I don't think it comes down to.
Probably
I'd like
he
it
didn't
to
inhale.
come down to.
yeah, he did inhale
It'd be great
the
if it
crack.
came down to the person that you are, your morals, your integrity, respect, and your ability to do the job in office. But I don't think that's really what it is anymore. I think it's possibly the ability you have to do the job, how much money and who's backing you.
Yeah.
It comes down to how much press, how many good pats on the back I'm going to get in public. And that's how people are being
And
elected.
in the olden days, I say the olden days, but everybody knew Kennedy, Eisenhower. Everybody they had their fling or whatever, but it wasn't out there in the open like today. Like these people have done. They've been caught with mistresses. They've been their privates put on telephone and sent to people.
You know, a lot of people say
where's your
a
brains?
lot of people say that their private life is supposed to be their private life, but I believe that when you have to deal with people, you have to be an example
Exactly.
to people.
Well, you're a role
their
model.
political position. They use their political position to be able to advance these other interests. Whether it be mistresses or whatever, but to put them up in these fancy places, and to afford
I
to
don't
do.
know.
something
I don't
that
want
they
my
don't know
can't
if
do.
taxpayer
you
money
guys.
going
I
for
don't
it.
know
I'm
if
sorry.
you guys have ever spent a day lobbying at the Capitol.
No, you
I
have, yeah.
And you would not believe what goes on.
I would.
It is just tremendous.
I would.
Just tremendous, because I listen to a lot of people talk about different things that are happening, and it's like they just sit there and they go, yeah. I, in the other hand, say, don't tell me you understand. Do something about it. I'm tired of listening to you guys say, oh, yeah, we're on your side. We understand. Amend the law. Do something.
show
Whatever
something.
the situation it is that I'm talking about,
Right.
you know, and they see me coming and they just kind of go hide in
Good.
the bathroom.
And then
let 'em go
where are the
hide.
examples that lead our country?
Thank
Where
you.
are they?
You're 100% correct. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.
Because
Bezos
if I
is
don't
right.
say that, they came in for dinner last night and they
Oh,
go,
bless their heart.
you better say hi to me.
Aw.
Oh, and Adriana and Karina and oh my God.
The whole crew.
The whole,
whole Perez.
chimichanga.
Yeah, the whole Perez clan. You say hello. Ladies, it was a pleasure. It was wonderful seeing you again. And
Great
and-
discussion. Loved
Yes,
it.
Good-
and
good
you,
to be
Missy,
here.
good luck on your new show. I'm so
I'm
excited.
so thrilled, and
Yes.
it's going to be great.
Wonderful.
It's going to be fun, and it's going to be for men and women. Everybody
Yes.
watch it.
Cool. And yes, and tune in and watch because
Especially for us cooks.
yes, because you're dynamite.
Thank you.
That was great. Austin and Cam said that was wonderful.
Thanks,
I
guys.
always like to learn. I'm always that's how I got as good as I am because I watch other people that
yeah,
you
same
know.
here.
Absolutely.
And
It's-
that's
it's-
the way to
how
do
you
it to
learn.
learn.
Sure.
That's right.
Now you're not going to the Middle East in the near future.
No, we're going to Baja this
Good.
year. We're going down to swim with dolphins.
Oh,
Where
how
at?
fun.
Where
We're
at?
going to
And
go
Baja?
down to Loreto.
Oh, I've
Loreto
been
Sur
there.
down in Baja. A little itty bitty. Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
I'm really
yes,
excited.
I have.
We have a
Yes,
friend
I
who
have.
owns a fishing boat down there,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to go down there and spend a week, and we're going island hopping down there
Oh.
and snorkeling
How
and swimming
fun.
with
Sounds
It is
dolphins.
so beautiful
Fabulous.
down
So
there.
good.
Just
Yeah.
peaceful, still pretty peaceful.
Yeah.
They started a new subdivision for like the really rich people. I went and I visited it.
We're,
and
we're
it's like,
staying away from that. We're steering
Yeah.
clear from that. We're not interested in that.
yeah,
whole
and I mean
aspect of it.
there are so many beautiful places to
Yeah.
go down there.
Yeah.
When I go on Sports for the World, children, that's where we go to
Yeah.
little towns.
I'm going to go
Right.
home and rake pine needles and burn pine needles if it's a burn day. That's what I've been
Do
doing.
you think you'll get snow?
I smell like a smoked ham at the end of the day. At the end of the day. But that's your food. That ties in the food for the thing.
What a great show, everybody.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
Have a great day.
Good luck, Monique.